as hoteliers can utilize to expand occupancy and grow online revenue as well as direct bookings. We have an esteemed panel of speakers here today who will share their thoughts and experiences on the current scenario as well as the role of technology in helping achieve revenue targets. I cordially welcome our speakers on today's panel, and I would also like to extend a very warm welcome to all our audience members for taking time here to join us. This session is being live streamed on ERIVMAX YouTube channel and it is being recorded as well and will be made available for future reference. We aim to make this an interactive discussion and we would request you to kindly use the chat bot function to put in your questions for our speakers during the session. And again, one request is if everybody, all the audience members can be on mute. And whenever you've put in a question and we have put that question across to our speakers, and then if you want to speak further or take the discussion forward, you can kindly unmute yourself and we can take the discussion forward from there. And I will now gladly invite my co-host Aparna to take over, please.
Neha. Good evening, good morning, everyone. Yeah. It's my pleasure to be here today. I'd now like to invite Tarun Goel, founder and CEO of Sunflutter. Over to you, Tarun.
Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much for attending. And Neha, thanks for organizing this. Like Neha mentioned, we're looking for this to be an interactive session. We'll share our thoughts, but I'm also looking to learn from each and every one of you because these are such interesting times. And just a quick background about myself. I run Simplotel, which is, we founded this about 8 years ago with a single mission in life. I used to work at Expedia and we saw the rate at which bookings were moving online. And we saw the kind of technology that the big OTAs had and the way it could attract customers, the way it could convert them. And sitting on the other side, was not a big fan of the OTA commission, right? And I felt like, if I owned a hotel myself and if I invested in the land and if I built the property and if I was paying all the bills, and if there was uh, those commissions I felt were too onerous to say the least, right? And I felt that if we came with technology that helps hotels drive some of the demand that's going to go online directly to their website, their businesses would be a lot healthier. So that was the mission statement. We started Simprotel about 8 years ago. Today we work with about 2,500 hotels across 21 countries, and our single purpose in life is to help improve the P&Ls of hotels by driving direct business through their websites, right? In my former life, I've been an e-commerce professional. I used to work at Amazon and Expedia and a company called Blue Yonder. And education-wise, I have an MBA from the University of Maryland. Personally, I like to run. I love to do yoga, and that's a bit about me. Happy to answer any other questions that you might have.
Thank you, Tarun. That is really interesting. I now invite my colleague Soumya Basu to introduce himself. Soumya is the regional head of Red Tiger RevMax in charge of US. Over to you, Soumya.
Thanks, Aparna, for giving me this opportunity. Hi, everyone. My name is Soumya Basu, and I'm the regional head for North America for ERIVMAX Red Tiger. Apart from North America, I also handle parts of Europe, Mauritius, and South Africa. Now, I am into this industry, travel and software segment for quite a while right now, and with ERIVMAX for more than 7 years. I started my journey in ERIVMAX with customer support first, and then went into service management, and now I'm handling account management and sales for the entire US region. Prior to this, to just give a little more background about myself, I was into IT-enabled services. I was into team handling, and my domain was into the enterprise account segment for delivering excellent customer support. As you all know, ERIVMAX, we are pioneering in this industry since 2001 in online rate shopping and hotel channel management solutions. When it comes to online distribution, rate intelligence, revenue optimization, we always take care of our partners and make their life easy with our solutions. We cater to thousands of hotels worldwide across mid-scale, big scale, scale groups, chains, and also to independent boutique hotels. As you're aware, our solutions include Channel Manager, Rate Shopper, Live OS Analytics as a single platform for reports for different big groups and big chains. We also have Booking Engine, website design development, and GDS and Metasearch connectivity is one of our services, other services as well. Yes, well, that's all about myself in a nutshell. And I and Max, which is an extended family to me. And yes, I look forward to an interesting discussion today, an interactive one. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Shaumo. Thank you so much, Tarun, and a big warm welcome again. And we're really looking forward to this discussion. I myself am super pumped up about this. So, without keeping our audiences waiting, I would want to dive straight in. And I would really like to start with Tarun and get his inputs, ideas on, we all talk about direct bookings and hotel e-commerce. And of course, the topic itself today is around that. So, Tarun, question for you. Bookings, as we all know, are moving online and moving more towards direct, and especially, with this pandemic situation, things have really changed. So, what are some of the strategies that you see, can help hotels harvest this demand and, drive more direct business to their properties? So, your inputs and take on it, please.
Thanks, Neha. Uh, you've raised a question that's very close to my heart because the whole thesis of Simple why I gave up my job and this whole moment of madness of starting Simple was around, driving more direct. I think if you take a step back, right? I mean, driving direct, it's actually quite simple. It's not. We tend to, we in technology tend to make it complicated. So I'm going to try to like put my technology hat away and talk just, business, right? I think it's as simple. It all starts with getting to know your customers better, right? I mean, oftentimes we meet a lot of hotels. We talk to them all day, and I think if there is one thing that you can do if you want to drive more demand, I don't care whether it's online, offline, it's just to get a better understanding of your customer. And there's this story that's very close to my heart. We have this customer in a very nice city, very, very touristy, very crowded, and you'd not find a lot of parking in their place. And we're talking to the owner, saying, why do people come stay at your resort, right? And the owner would talk about the fact that we have excellent Wi-Fi, we have a great breakfast, and we have these facilities, right? And when we read up then we went to their TripAdvisor reviews and we read that first 20 TripAdvisor reviews. And guess what? Every single one of those reviews talked about the fact that the hotel offered free parking in a very crowded space, right? So, and a lot of their customers were people who were coming from drivable distance, which obviously, is this post-pandemic boom as well, right? And I'm sure the owner knew about it, but it wasn't top of his mind, right? So I think the first step is to understand what your customers really, really want and what you have to offer to them as a part of that, right? And it may seem very difficult, it may seem very MBA-ish, but it's not really, right? I think a simple technique works here, go read the first 20 reviews on any of the review channels, TripAdvisor, Booking.com, and you'll start getting a very good sense of, why your guests are staying with you, right? Now, once you have that understanding, right, a lot of things become clear because now you actually know what your people are looking for and what you're offering to them needs to be there. The second piece after that, and without doing the first piece, I think nothing else works because you're trying to be all things to all people. You don't really know how to compete against the hotel next door, etc. Right? The second piece that we believe has an important aspect, which does get downplayed a bit, is the technology, right? So, especially in online, see, ultimately, if you compare online to offline, right, you have a salesperson, and the quality of the salesperson makes a huge difference in whether they're able to get customers to you or not, right? In online, that salesperson is your technology in a lot of ways, right? You want a tech that is able to get customers to your website, and we see a lot of customers sort of investing in SEO, etc., right? But again, there is a fundamental piece here, which is about the tech of the website. So, for example, the load time of the site, right? If you can optimize that, makes a huge, huge, huge difference. And the reason is quite simple. A, your customers don't like slow sites. And when we were at Amazon, we believe that every millisecond or every second that we could reduce from our site would result in billions of dollars of sales. And it's actually true because we sit in our offices with high-speed networks. Our customers are on mobile with slow networks, right? And if you think deeper, it's actually true for even Google, because Google is going to give you a certain amount of bandwidth and time to crawl your website. And if your website takes time to load and doesn't load in that time, it's not going to crawl you and move away, right? So unfortunately, fortunately, websites and online gets judged more on the look and feel rather than some of the. It's like you're buying a Ferrari with an engine of a weak engine that doesn't really run. So it's very important to pick the right technology. And once you know what your customers are looking for, and once you marry it up with great technology, then it's all about, and it really really works, right? The third piece to the puzzle is uh, is the conversion piece. Right now, getting the right revenue management strategy is incredible important, because in travel it is unbelievable how much shopping happens on the site. We see look to book ratios of hundreds or thousands to one. So for every 100 or 1,000 people that come to your site, one of them buys because they're shopping at various places, right? So your revenue strategies, etc., make a big difference. But I think the other piece that also gets overlooked is when you're looking at a booking engine, right, it needs to be brain dead simple. It needs to be able to just, you don't need a manual to go use it. It needs to be just clutter free, simple. If you're shopping at a store and you've bought all this nice merchandise and now you're waiting in the checkout aisle. Nobody likes waiting in the checkout aisle. I mean, and your booking engine is like that, right? I figure out what I want, and now this thing is taking me too long and it's too complicated. It needs to be brain that simple, right? And when I moved from Expedia to from Amazon to Expedia, one of the things that I did not know, which struck me, was incredible. In e-commerce, in a place like Amazon, about 25% of all the orders they get on any given day are from the first visit of the customer. Right? So somebody comes, the intent is high, they buy, right? In travel, if you get 100 bookings a day, only 10 come from the first visit of the customer, right? So these people are coming, they're looking, they're shopping, and they're coming back, right? If you knew this insight, what it means is some techniques like remarketing, etc., become very effective, because you have to keep getting the same customer back, and you have to keep reminding him that you exist, and him or her that you exist, and you're open for their business, right? And when you think remarketing, people start thinking of Googles of the world, which are very expensive. But what about sending them simple messages, right? For example, if you go to a booking.com and if you don't make a booking for New York, Booking.com starts sending you mailers saying rooms in New York are going fast, here's a special 5% off, right? They try to solicit you back, right? And there's no person sitting in Booking.com who is looking at your behavior and doing that. It's just technology. And these kind of technologies are available to independent hotels. And like we at Simple believe that these techniques work. We shamelessly copy a lot of things that the online travel agencies do because these techniques work. Right? So I think it's simple, right? I think in summary, it is first know your customers. Without that, no amount of tech is going to be able to help you. And the process is very simple. Just read reviews, talk to your salesperson. They usually know what's going on. Number two, find good tech, both for your website and booking engine, and make it brain that simple. I mean, communicate crisply as to what your offering is. And the third step is, of course, revenue and pricing management, right? Without those, you can have the best product out there, but if it's not priced correctly for the market, you don't get conversion. If you get these three things done right, bookings happen online, direct.
Thank you, Tarun. That's quite interesting. You just mentioned the checkout process, and I was thinking how important the store layout or the storefront is, even if it's for e-commerce. The experience of finding things, the overall smooth experience, user experience, as we call it. So, which leads to my question basically. This is for Soumya. Soumya, how important it is, or how, I mean, what do you think are some of the ways hotels can, create a better storefront or front, or, a better brand website so that, they can leverage the traffic, which will eventually improve their direct booking?
Thanks for the question, Aparna. Yeah, there's a key thing right now that there's an alternate mechanism right now that the hotels are looking forward to get more direct bookings to the website. So first, we need to understand the reason why. We all know the reason, but it's about the right balance that the hotels need to keep between receiving reservations from their local distribution channels, or maybe the direct booking. So when it comes to direct bookings, of course, we know the first and foremost advantage is the hotels. It has a cost saving part on the hotel because they don't have to pay the commission to the hotels. And second part is that they would have a direct communication with the customer. Once the guest makes a direct booking to the website, they have a direct communication with the customer. They have the customer database with them. They know their birthdays, anniversaries, everything, which is exactly used for remarketing or making customer feel. It's a sort of personalization that they would do, the hotels would like to do. Other benefits I've seen while making direct bookings are whenever you book through a website, you don't get to choose most of the rooms. But whenever you're going through the brand website, you actually get to see more number of room preferences. You get more discounts. You get many offers like early check-in, late checkout, and also the free room upgrades. Now, these are the benefits. Now, how do you do it? And that was the question. How will the hotels, what are the ways they can improve the direct bookings? First and foremost thing, visibility is the key factor in today's market. We all know that the hotels have to make themselves visible in the market. Of course, they are the OTAs, but what are the other factors they can do that? So once they can go ahead and they can take care of, they can take the help of Google hotel ads, or they can go for the paid search. And as I said, retargeting. Once the guests, they have a record, the hotels have a record of the guest in their database. They know their birthdays, they know their anniversaries. So whenever the big day, the special day is coming, so the hotels would call them and, hey, we know there's a birthday coming, or it's a birthday month, so why don't you pay a visit to our hotel for a stay, for a weekend stay, and we are giving you this offers. This is a personalization. And digital marketing, of course, is one of the other ways, because we are into social network, everyone, Facebook, Insta, WhatsApp, LinkedIn. I remember I was browsing through LinkedIn a couple of months ago. I mean, I came to see that there was a hotel in Las Vegas this year who was hosting the beauty pageant. So if I'm a guest and I'm planning my visit to Las Vegas, then of course I would know that, yes, that's the month I'm going over there. So why don't I stay at this hotel? Will have my stay, and I'll also can watch the beauty pageant competition over there. So that will be a good thing for me. And apart from that, also the hotels are using meta search, blog, email marketing, a lot of factors which will make the visibility better. Second most important factor, how would the hotels do it for getting more and more bookings? The very, very important thing is the website. Most of the guests used to book from a OTA because booking through an OTA is just a 2 or 3 easy process. So this easy process, the hotels are making sure that they have a IB booking engine integrated to their brand website, which is a payment gateway solution, and it should be mobile responsive as well. So if you have a very good website, if you have a booking engine integrated with the website, and the user gets an experience that, yeah, it's a simple process. I go to the website, I get to see all the rooms, I see the best of the rates the hotel is offering to me. So that's one of the ways where the brand website comes into picture. But the hotel has to keep in mind that they have to keep on upgrading the content, the technology, and the content part, and they have to use the best of the technology, so that the guests, the consumers who are looking for the correct hotels will know that, yes, I have reached to the right place. This is the hotel for my next vacation or my next vacation. Next most important thing which comes into my mind is, of course, attractive prices and parks, because price is an important factor in today's life. So what the hotels would do is hotels would tilt the scales in their favor. They would highlight the benefits of booking directly with them. We all know that free Wi-Fi and welcome drink, this are there common in all the hotels. But if the hotel gives some other complement, some other additional offers while you book through the website, like maybe a free spa or alternate activities and experiences, maybe late checkout, which I've told you before only, free additional night if you're booking for a multiple nights. So this offers actually goes ahead and plays an important role. So if I'm a guest and I'm booking for a hotel and I see, okay, in this hotel, when I'm booking directly, I get so many attractive prices, and I get so much of offers, so much of perks with that. So of course that would attract the guests to get into that hotel. Fourth important point would be, of course, the loyalty program points. The hotels keep a track of the guest record, their database and everything. So they would, it's a sort of email marketing the hotels prefers to do. They would get back to their guests. They would tell them, hey, you stayed at our hotel for such a multiple times for multiple nights. So you have this loyalty program points, and based on these points, we give you this offer. So as a guest, if I am satisfied visiting one hotel, and I know that this hotel has meet up all my requirements and they're giving me very good offers, why don't you pay a visit next time? So that helps the hotels to get more and more direct bookings. And last, but one of the most important thing which I see from my personal experience is the reservation desk. I'm sure many of the guests, they check on different hotel website, different OTAs, but still they call up the reservation desk just to check what the hotel rates are going and what they can hear from the reservation desk. So if 3 or 4 people are sitting in the reservation desk, or if one person is sitting per shift and the other person comes in, it's very, very important for the reservation desk people to be calibrated. It should not happen that I'm calling the hotel 3 times and I get to hear 3 different rates. That's give me a very bad impression for the hotel. So a calibrated front desk, a reservation desk is very, very important. And there are a lot of guests whom I know that they prefer to book directly over phone rather than spending time on the website. There are still people like this. So yes, a reservation desk, a very good reservation desk and calibrated one will actually help the hotel to get more and more bookings. That's a few of the key points which comes into my mind for a hotel to drive more direct bookings. Thank you.
Thank you, Shomo. I think you make some very valid points, and what Tarun said earlier. I think both of you put together all the points that you've shared. It is like, in a nutshell, like a guidebook for hotels, which again, our audience members, many of them hoteliers, they would know, and these would be some of the things that they're already doing. So I just want to reiterate, if any of the members in the audience have any questions for the speakers, please do put them in the chat box, and we will be putting that across to our speakers at some point. Uh, we of course have been talking a lot on the direct side of the business of how driving the direct bookings, and why the brand website is important and all the different things that we need to be doing. So both Tarun gave some very relevant examples and Shomo mentioned, but I also wanted to deviate a little bit and talk more on the other side of things, because again, we have been talking about technology and how that plays a key role. So and of course also the distribution aspect apart from the direct. So everybody knows that OTAs, it's like you cannot just negate them completely. So uh, Tarun, my next question would be for you, and the question is, why is seamless integration between the various technology platforms, whether it be OTAs or channel managers or the booking engines, why are these so important for hoteliers, and how it can impact their business? What's the benefit they can derive, and how we as technology providers can make it more impactful for them? If you can kindly share your thoughts.
Sounds good, Neha. Neha, I think I'm having a bit of a problem with my video. Should I jump back out and jump back in? I don't know. Or we can proceed with our video. What do you suggest? You can hear me okay?
We can hear you fine, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Should I just continue like this, or would you prefer that I just jump out and hop back in?
Whatever you're more comfortable with. If you want to just quickly go out, and then that's fine. Or otherwise, maybe you can do that when
Yeah. So maybe
during the
what I
next
do is I take this. Maybe I take this
Yes,
question and then I jump off. Sorry about that. Just having some. It's working just fine and then left out, right?
Sure.
I think there are two real questions here, Neha, that you asked. Right? One is the importance of integration, right? And I just have a philosophy here, an opinion maybe, right? It's like I don't think human beings should be doing monkey work, right? And especially post-COVID, we're all dealing with labor shortages like we've never dealt with before. Every hotel, regardless of where you go in the world, struggle with labor. I was at High Tech just a couple of weeks ago, and I met with a hotelier, and I said, we could help get you more business. And I was amazed at the response. They said, Tarun, we don't need any more business. We can't deal with the business we're getting already, just because we don't have any more staff to take care of the guests, right? So at the end of the day, hospitality is about people. It's about an experience, right? And if you're going to use those people to do monkey work to, take data from one system and punch it into another system, right? I think it's completely broken. I think this, if I were a hotelier and if I were picking out technology, right, I would make sure that the people I pick are ones that are open to integrating with others. Because otherwise, at least at Simplotel, we don't believe that we hold integration as a blocker from people to use software. We believe every one of our software pieces should be good enough for the hotel to use independently, and it should not be that, if you're using a website, that means you must use our booking engine because we don't integrate with somebody else, right? So the other challenge with integration is that lack of integration often leads to a completely broken customer experience. Right? We have customers, who spend money on digital marketing, right? And the traffic is coming to their website, but the analytics are not connected all the way to the booking engine. Now you have no idea what the ROI of the booking is, right? And it's simple things like that. And sometimes, if the integration doesn't go well, you have overbookings. In short, lack of integration also creates massive, massive, massive customer experience issues, right? I'd rather see systems talk to each other seamlessly, people doing the job that they're supposed to do, spend more time taking care of guests rather than, doing monkey work, right? I think my take to the hospitality technology providers is that, we need to be open. I think if somebody wants to integrate and use other products, the solution, at least we're very open and we actually like it, and it keeps us on our toes. That, integration is not sort of a way to sort of hold other pieces from coming in. So that's, my belief that, integration is a must, and we're very, very happy to integrate with Red Tiger, one of the leading channel managers. We've seen really great results when people use it because the connectivity just works seamlessly, right? So the other piece is,
Thank you, Tarun.
cool. I think there was a second part to your question, Neha, right? Or
Yes, yes. So I think, what Aparna wanted to say was basically thanking you for telling that about the integration and how things are working. So, the second part was the impact on their business. So, of course, the integrations and how it works and how we can make it more impactful. These integrations for the hotels. Yeah.
I mean, see, it's actually even deeper than the experiences we are talking about, right? We see hotels even today run email marketing campaigns, right? And the campaigns are completely disjointed from what's going on in their website or their social media, right? And part of the blame, I think, goes to the tech providers, honestly, right? I think we've all come up with a piece of the solution and not the entire thing, right? So I think integration is a key. It helps you imagine, like, Soumya mentioned earlier, right, that you can call up the same hotel multiple times and you can get a different rate. Well, it's even more interesting than that, right? Like the same customers are shopping on booking.com, they're shopping on your brand website and they're calling you right now. They get three different rates at three different places with three different offers, right? It just causes a lot of confusion there, right? So and these issues often come up because the systems aren't talking to each other there. And I believe running a hotel is one of the hardest things that one does in their lifetime. I'm amazed at everybody on this conference who's running a hotel. Kudos to you guys. There are 200 things that go wrong every day, right? Your chef is not showing up, your housekeeper is not there, right? The last thing you want to worry about is an overbooking happening because some integration is not working well. Right? So again, you touched a point that I feel very strongly about, Neha. But I think as technology professionals, it is I believe we're doing a disservice to industry unless, all these technologies talk seamlessly. And it's not a hotelier's problem where they need to spend a lot of time and effort getting these to talk to each other. And the guest experience suffers eventually one way or the other.
Very interesting. Yes. I mean, you've clearly highlighted some of the key issues that a hotel might face, and when you put it the way you did, that a chef might not show up or a housekeeper might be sick, I mean, just thinking and visualizing that makes me feel worried for any hotel where that might happen. Aparna, over to you. I think you wanted to say something.
I mean, Tarun, just what you were saying, and given hotels, so many people, so many people are dependent on them. I'm talking not really about the guest part. So, COVID-19 actually, it has thrown a very difficult distribution channel, I would say. On the one hand, there is a desperate need for revenue because that is a lifeblood, I would say, to keep staffers employed and the lights on. But then there is a long-term profitability thing, the market value considerations. Uh, my question is for you, Samya. Given that Red Tiger is known in the market for its channel management, what do you think would basically, what according to you would be the future course of action, I would say? And how do you see the distribution mix would be, the ideal distribution mix would be for the hotels? Given that, the also the, guest behavior pattern has changed. And,
Right.
the
So just 1 second, I'm just going to hop off quickly and jump back in and hoping that my video will start. Sorry about that.
Sure,
I'm
Tarun,
happy
no
to do this
problem.
quick. Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
Thanks, Aparna, for the question. Yeah. So yes, very, very valid question. I mean, importance of healthy distribution mix. That's a key word right now for all the hoteliers. There's a two-part to it. I'd like to answer this question in two parts actually, and I would provide pros and cons of both. So first comes the OTA mix. We all know that adding OTAs to our online distribution, it has clear advantage. Like the hotel rates are being displayed on a different website, and a lot of OTAs does their own marketing tactics to highlight your hotel's rates. So as a hotelier, I'll be glad to see my hotels being visible in different OTAs. Most of the OTAs are working in the commission-based model, based on conversion rather than the clicks. And the best part is that when I'm dependent on this OTA thing, I can choose between my global channels or my regional channels or my local channels. It's sort of a customer segmentation that I'll do. I know that my guests are from which regions, so which channels will work best for me. That will be my key thing when I go into the distribution mix between the OTAs. Also, there are a lot of OTAs who give very good offers. Often I've seen the OTAs are giving more cheaper rates than the brand website. So it's not only about only the channels, Expedia, bookings, Hotelbase. There are different channel combination that we can talk about. Being a hotelier, we can choose a healthy distribution mix between the OTA wholesalers or MetaSearch or GDS, many channels like this. But there are some key factors as well, being a hotelier, that why we should not be over reliant to the OTAs. We know that there can be price disparities. Like I might see that my hotel rates are different in different OTAs. So as a guest, the guest might be a bit confused in seeing different rates, same hotel rates on different OTAs. There can be a key factor, the brand power, the CRM, and of course, the acquisition cost. So these are some of the factors which a hotelier keeps into mind when doing a distribution mix basis the OTAs. So what's my next option? Of course, my next option is the trend, which is nowadays the direct bookings through hotel website. And we see that there are a lot of travel tech partners who are into booking engine integration, who are doing the website development themselves to give the best. They can develop a website which can attract the more and more guest bookings. So does that mean that the hotel direct bookings does not have any factors involved which needs to take care of? Of course they have. We know that there is a search engine cost. We know there are booking engine integration cost. So it's not that the direct bookings to the hotel website will be a cheap option. So the motto, why I spoke about this, both the things, and why I spoke about both pros and cons of both the OTA mix and the direct booking mix is the hoteliers should have to choose a right blend. I, as a hotelier, I know my hotel best. I know where is my hotel location. I know who my targeted audience, my guests are. So even I was going through stats, and this stats is very common for the hotel industry. Like we typically see around 40% reservations coming from direct bookings and 60% coming from various OTAs. Again, these are very generic stats, but this can differ hotel to hotel based on the location. So what I want to say is that being a hotelier, and this is what I've seen from my hotel partners as well, they understanding taking key some of the factors like who is my, as I said, who is my guest database, who are from where they're coming from. I know my hotel occupancy, which how many rooms I need to sell. I know my database, I know my marketing tactics. So as a hotelier, I have to put a fine blend of these factors which I want to keep, which I want to have to keep a key note of these factors, that while I'm making a good distribution mix, that putting this OTAs for getting more reservations, or I'll have a direct integration, a direct booking. So I'll have to look into all the key factors which is involved, and then put a fine blend and mix of the healthy distribution between OTAs and the direct bookings. So that would be from my end.
Great. Thank you so much, Rammo. That was really very insightful, and you made some really valid points there. We will just take a moment because, like we know, Tarun had dropped out and he wanted to come in again, and he's trying to come back in, but there seems to be some admin issues. So just give us a couple of minutes. We're trying to figure this out.
Sure.
Sorry to the audience members. Just give us a couple of minutes.
I think Royston is writing something in the chat box.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are trying to get him enter the space, but somehow we can see the technical issues that is happening.
Just trying to figure this one out because I do not see anyone in the waiting room, and there's no. I see somebody now, I think. Admit. Someone else actually. Maybe what we can do meanwhile,
Tarun is here.
Tarun, yeah. Hey Tarun, welcome back.
Tarun, you're on mute.
You're on mute, yeah. Oh, wait. Ask to unmute.
Sorry about that. Had a bit of technical difficulty. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
So
can.
sorry about that.
No problem at all. We were just getting worried that we're not being able to let you in while you're trying to get in. So, yeah. So we're talking about technology, and this is what happens. See,
Yes, I know.
it can be an enabler, but at the same time, it can take you off track. So
Yeah, I think Zoom is getting tired with all the lockdown, too much traffic.
yeah, being overworked for the last 1.5 years, I think. So I think we of course were talking about the distribution mix, and how and what the importance is. So Tarun, I think you missed out on that part, but having said that, I think we'll continue on that line, and I will put up my next question for you. And I want to deviate a little bit and use one of the buzzwords. Like, we've seen a lot of publications and, hospitality trade media throwing in these words in their news pieces. Revenge travel. I'm sure all of the audience members here have read and possibly have had an overdose of this word by now. So we have been seeing a lot of revenge travel happening because people have been stuck into their homes for the last 18 months, and now whoever is getting that option, they're like just going all out. So Tarun, the question is, how is that having an impact on hotels distribution strategy? I know you covered a little bit on what you shared about your experience at High Tech recently, of how hotels are turning down guests because they do not have the staff, and there's a shortage of manpower there to be able to deliver the services that they would want to. But this is on the other side on the sense of how it is having an impact on the hotel's distribution strategy. So what's your take on that, please?
I think it's, I think COVID has been a very interesting time for all of us, and needless to say, a very hard time for everyone on this call, right? Whether you're on the technology side or whether you're a hotelier, there's no denying that an event like this is just extremely hard to forecast and to deal with, right? I think if you look at the characteristics of what's happening in revenge travel or post-COVID or stuff, right? I think what we see is what our data shows us is a lot more local driven. I mean, the international borders are still very whimsical, right? They open one day, they close the other day. While I was traveling to High Tech, it was very interesting, right? I mean, uh, funny story. They ask you for a COVID test within 72 hours, and you in the US when you try to get yourself tested, that the agency will tell you it takes you up to 72 hours to get a test result, and you're wondering, how do I time this so that I get my test exactly 72 hours before my boarding time. Anyways, I mean the tests usually come in sooner, but our guests are dealing with the same amount of uncertainty, and when you're going out there on a holiday on a business, right? Nobody wants to take stress like this, and unless it's really, really, really important, people are not traveling cross country, most cases, right? So the characteristics of the flight schedules in most countries are still limited. When I flew within the US, flights were relatively empty. So, but when I was trying to rent a car, I landed in San Francisco International, immigration, customs, everything, 15 minutes done. I was out, fastest ever at the airport. When I went to rent a car, the queue was 2.5 hours long. Now, imagine airport running empty, car rental company going, you know, having demand like never before. What that tells you is a lot of it is driven by demand, by local drivable. I mean, I think we all know this, but it's just I didn't know the magnitude of this until I faced this, right? So channels that produce more domestic close by for you are probably more doing more for you. Your international online travel agencies are probably doing less for you in terms of the productivity numbers. The offline agents, we're seeing a tremendous shift from offline to online, right? I mean, the stats from every country are staggering. The stats from India, where I live, are right before COVID, there were about 100 million transacting internet users in any given month. That number has jumped to about 250 to 300 million. And this is habit forming, online payments have become bigger. People are transacting more online. So we're seeing a rapid shift from offline channels to online channels, right? Which comes with its own set of pros and cons, right? That's another characteristic that we are observing in our customer. When we look at the Google searches that happen across our 2,500 customers, we see a lot more local searches happening, and predominantly local within the country, even within the region. So now, given these characteristics, what that means. If I was a hotelier, I would look at the channels that get me local demand. That I would focus a lot more on online. I would also focus on what the customers want again, right? The laws keep changing every day. The cities keep turning on, keep turning off. Offer guests the flexibility if you can. Right? I'm not saying offer flexibility on a long weekend, but on the other days, free cancellation seems to be working really well. I know I'm deviating a bit from distribution, right? But it's all part of your strategy, right? I mean, how your entire product offering, right? In-house food and beverage is doing a lot better than people feel more comfortable eating inside rather than going out, right? How do you take advantage of that? Brainstorm on that with your team, right? Come up with packages that include all meals instead of just your normal with breakfast rate plans if you can, right? All of these pieces can sort of help you take advantage of this. So I think our observation is very local, drivable, uh, seeing a boost, more online. Websites are producing like how. For some reason, customers are very comfortable. In fact, when we look at our portfolio of the 2,500 hotels, the number of transactions happening post-COVID is about 2x that was happening pre-COVID. And this has happened just since the lockdowns have started opening, right? So we see online grow rapidly. We see packages being booked a lot more, the meal plans, etc. So that's what I would do. Focus more on your domestic OTAs, focus a lot more on your domestic customers, figure out what they're looking for, A lot of them want more clean. A lot of our hotels are also dealing with this issue that I had when I was in the US. And some of the hotels that I picked when I was staying there were the ones that were offering PCR tests before my return, right? Like I'm going to a new country, I don't know where to get these tests done, and they just make it easier, right? So I would start with, what is producing for you, what your customers are looking for in this new world, in this revenge travel, and give them that. And I think you'll see results out of it. Again, my take, I think from you guys have a broader view on distribution, so probably you can add a lot more color to this. We are more on their online website channels. We have good data and analysis on that. But perhaps, you're seeing it across probably a lot of OTAs as well. So I'd love to get your thoughts on this as well.
But that's very, very impressive when you say that you see a 2x in terms of the booking numbers. So that goes on to show the improvement in direct, right? Because of course numbers are picking up, and when we look at our data, it is definitely getting better. But we cannot say, claim the numbers that you are claiming in terms of,
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a rocket ship, Neha. It's
yeah.
just and a lot of it is demand moving from offline channels to online. And for some reason, and I haven't quite figured this out, would love to hear other people, participants say, people are trusting websites a lot more and wanting to book directly with hotels. We see this, and hotels are benefiting from this trend. I mean, uh, so some of it is a mixed thing. There's a bigger bounce back in leisure and more FIT driven rather than corporates, which tend to book to other channels. So there's part of that mixed thing going on. But there is clearly a trend towards more online, more comfort with payments, and we're seeing all of those things. And this is very encouraging for the long term.
I think one big factor here could be the health and safety hygiene factors, especially with COVID, and that could be one huge reason for hotels, for guests to really get in touch with hotels directly, making the bookings direct, and of course the cancellations. I think again cancellation policies must have played a big role. Having said that, the bookings and Expedias of the world are also doing their bit and trying to drive hotels to put in similar policies, offer more flexible booking options. But
Yeah.
then I think we as travelers, we get that comfort and confidence that when we talk to the hotel, and we know that when we reach the place, we'll get a good clean room, and it
Correct.
will not be a cancelled booking and stuff like that. So
We-
that
we-
could,
we-
of course.
We're also amazed, Neha, at the rate at which we are seeing meal plans sell now with bookings, right? So, and again, we've not talked to some of these customers, but our thesis is that, people feel more safe now instead of like going out and eating at 5 different places. I just want to take advantage of, which is an opportunity for the hotels because it's substantial revenue out there, right? So
Yeah.
some of these trends insights are extremely interesting. There's this hotelier of ours, and we see them starting to market on their website, and they're starting to put driving distances, right? Saying, we're only 3 hours from New York City, right? We're only
Yeah.
a 50-minute drive from San Francisco, right? And this is the reassurance. So, again, if you know what the customers are looking for, then, tech and websites can help you get the message out there. But there's been a fundamental shift. I don't know how long this will last, but this is the time to take advantage of these things that we're seeing out there. Create meal plans on your sites, put driving distances, put on the safety theater, right? Whatever that means, like show the guests that they're going to be safe out there. If you are still targeting international, there's a lot of headwinds, and think about what your travelers need to go to get back to their home countries. If it's PCR tests, make it easy for them, right? It's just all of these things will help you win out and pick the channels that focus on your website. It's a big opportunity right now. Your local OTAs are probably going to get you more than the international ones. Again, I'm rambling, but that's our take on this. Yeah.
No, no, not at all. When you say rambling, I think this is all the insights that we really want to hear, and this is what the audiences want to hear, because what you're saying is backed by data, right? That's the trends and the insights you're seeing with what is actually happening on your system, and how hotels are looking at this. So definitely. Unfortunately, I do not have such interesting data to share here today. We would have loved to be able to say that we see 2x, but I think we'll get there sooner or later. So,
I think
but
direct
then,
has seen a boost. It's
yeah,
our take.
yeah,
The channel share is growing here.
definitely, definitely. I think Aparna, you've been wanting to say
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I have a question for Soumya. Soumya, you are handling the US market, which is one of the earlier one, to open up. And as we have been seeing that, that tech adoption, it has really accelerated in the hotel industry. As they're saying, there is, I mean, Neha was talking about the buzzword revenge. Now, I would say that tech adoption and the smart travel they have also become the buzzword. But since you are handling the customers on a daily basis, what are the changes in terms of hotel tech adoption that you have noticed when it comes to your client portfolio? What are they asking for?
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Aparna, for the question. Yeah. Yes, I do talk with a lot of my hotel partners in US on a daily basis. So COVID-19, we all know that it has changed the way we do most of the things, and from shopping, traveling, on a public transport, like sanitization is the key word right now. I mean, you need to wash your hands with the sanitizer, with soap, and then the hygiene is the most important factor. So hospitality is no different. I mean, it's same thing out here. So when I talk to my hotels, since during COVID and post pandemic, where the market is recovering right now, and yes, yeah, we all know that the airlines will be open from US for all the other countries from next month. So that's a very good news. So few things which I would like to point out, which I've heard from my hotels, is number one, technology, as Tarun was pointing out on the first question. So technology is the key factor. So we have seen, like, pre-pandemic as well, there was a trend of shift towards the SaaS or the cloud-based solutions, and there is an obvious reason for it, because it reduces the cost for the hotels. I mean, on the cost which an hotel would actually have on the IT infrastructure, that will help them a lot in the cost reduction. And also, we all know that all the SaaS cloud-based solutions help not only helps in online bookings and reservations, is a single step platform out there, but also on the front office and housekeeping management, because there are a lot of solution which actually enables the employees to manage their front desk very easily. Disaster recovery is one very good important thing for SaaS cloud-based solution, because all the data is stored in the cloud and you don't need to worry about it if anything happens. And the data is stored in the cloud in a very high security level. So in case of any disaster, you can pretty well recover those data. And it's also, the accessibility factor is very good. I mean, critical business information or other information, it can be available in any device in the smartphones itself. So that's the first thing which I have heard from my hotels. They're mostly shifting to cloud-based solutions. That's one thing. Second is the mobile strategy. We all know that we are prone to mobile smartphone nowadays. We sitting at we don't have work at office. We're in a break time, or we are traveling by a tube, or we are going anywhere. We are in the amusement park. So we all happen to scroll through the phone. I mean, be it on Insta, be it FB, anywhere. So since we see this mobile strategy is the next big thing for the hoteliers, because every channel manager solution or any travel technology solution will have a mobile version nowadays, because no one would wait to actually go back and open the laptop or go to the office and check on their desktop or laptop. So they will want everything to be there on their mobile phone. So there's a change in the guest booking behavior as well. All the hotel websites have a mobile version with their booking engine integrated. So I when I'm with my family and I'm talking to my wife, hey, just plan a vacation in the next summer. So okay, we'll have to look into different options. Where do we go? Where to search the hotels? So we can do it right now while we have time. So we can just check on the mobile and see which of the hotels we can book, or what are the flights we can airlines we can book. So mobile strategy is very important right now. It is the new trend. And as Neha said, hygiene is the key word right now after this COVID trend. Contactless service. We have seen a lot of hotels who are doing contactless check-in, check-out. They have the virtual TV remote control and the guest self-service payment systems. You don't have to actually go ahead and insert the card and do the payment. They have the self-service system as well. In-room ordering. We have seen a lot of guests a lot of hotels who are actually focusing on this in-room ordering. They're serving the food inside the room so that the guest does not have to come into the common area and have food. Facial recognition, TV-based remote checkout, they are the other contactless service which are being used. Also, we have seen many hotels, they are actually, and they are also thinking to deploy robots that those will help the guests to check in, posing for selfies, and helping guests to find a way to their amenities where they want to go inside the hotel. There are other few hotels, big chains, who are actually using electrostatic sprayers to go ahead and kill the germs, the robot vacuum, and etc. And to talk about the last point, which I'll say is the hybrid event. We all know that since COVID, the trade shows were not happening. So we had to shift to the virtual event last year in 2020. Of course, the trade shows are again starting, but we all know that there is an essence for when it comes to the travel or the trade shows happening in person, because you talk to the person, you can talk to him and you can go ahead and see his body language. You can, that can be more and more expressive actually when you have the in-person meet rather than virtual event. Of course, COVID-19 has impacted these trade shows, and the virtual event was the other alternative. We had taken up the other alternative as the virtual event back in 2020 and initially in 2021 as well. But we are seeing the events to be back, the trade shows to be back. But at this point of juncture, I have seen many hoteliers, they're actually preferring the hybrid event. Last year, there was a stats carried out, and the statistics show 68% of the hoteliers are actually inclined towards a hybrid event norm. Both the things will be there. Of course, there will be a trade show where the persons will get to meet the hotels and the travel partners, and also the virtual events will happen. So yes, that's another key trend right now. So yes, to me, these are the four things which I can think about the new solutions after the COVID, which I have got to know after speaking to the hoteliers. Thank you.
Thanks, Shomo. Uh, Tarun, are you facing any issues with your unmuting by any chance, or do you have the controls yourself? No. Oh. I don't know why that is happening for you.
Sorry, maybe I should not mute myself. I just thought there might be some background noise. So.
Okay. So, Shomo, thank you for the inputs that you shared, and you know what I mean. Robots, yes. So, Tarun, there it goes. Manpower shortage in US hotels. Get robots in. But that again will come in from China possibly, and we do not know.
I think it's a very different world. So we're visiting a friend in the US and talk about like imports, right? So the refrigerator counter, and they called up for a replacement, 3 months waiting line. Used cars are selling at prices that are more than new cars. It's a very different world right now. There've been a lot of disruption in the supply chain, etc. So I think it will come back, but right now it's just a very, very unusual time in our life. You can see it as an opportunity, which I think there is.
Yeah. In fact, we'll see, I'm sure, new businesses coming up who will try to create answers to the new problems that are cropping up. So we don't know, there's so much of innovation that might come up sooner than later. So yeah. So I see one of the members from the audience actually putting in something in the chat. So it's I think Radha who's saying, hello everyone, great conversation. I think Tarun, there's a question for you here. So Radha says, I was listening to Tarun and agree that the content in the website will play a big role. I wanted to ask, for an average hotel, what are the top features they should be looking for when creating their own website or subscribing to one? I think she means a service. So do you want to share your thoughts here?
Absolutely. Thank you, Radha, for that question. Unfortunately, Radha, the list is very long, and maybe we should connect offline. Right? If you can reach out to us on ziprotel.com, we'd be happy to get into a more in-depth discussion. See, I think the challenge with e-commerce is that it's death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? So you've got to get a lot of things right to get the conversion going. And there are very few silver bullets. There are like these 2 or 3 massive things that you can do to drive. And then there's a whole bunch of little things that you have to do to drive it, right? And therefore, sort of the question is harder. So what I'll do today is I'll at least cover the big bullets that you have, right? Some of these might be obvious to you, but see, for example, if you can offer your guests an option to pay now, pay at hotel, your conversion jumps by a few percentage points, right? Now, it's not a silver bullet, but if you can do that, it adds another 2-3%, right? And if you do 10-20 of these things, adding 2-3%, right, that's a 50-60% jump in your conversion, right? So I'm not trying to evade your question, but it is indeed a lot more detailed and nuanced answer. But I'll give you the big one, right? I think when you're looking for a service or something that delivers a website, I think investing in your content obviously is important. Videos is important, right? But you need to pay a lot of attention to the technology that delivers, right? You can have the best video in the world, but if it doesn't load on slow internet connection, it's useless, right? And we sit in offices with broadband, but some of our customers are accessing our websites through mobile, right? And with spotty connections oftentimes, right? And if you look at a YouTube video, it will play nicely even on slow connections, right? They change the resolution of the video if your internet speed is off. Why can't your website do the same thing? There are solutions available out there that do that, right? So load time, in my mind, if there is one silver bullet in driving e-commerce conversion from a technology perspective, it is the load time of the website, and I would not compromise on that. Number two is obvious, which is mobile. Today, we find 60 to 70% of the internet traffic for hotels come on mobile. Now, it's not just about taking your desktop site and making it responsive. What you have to do is the way a person uses a mobile phone is fundamentally different than the way they use a desktop. Let me give you an example. Right? If you want to call somebody on the desktop, you're better off showing the number prominently, right, so that they can dial the number easily. And it's just about putting the area code and the right number of spaces so that it's easy to read. Right? On the mobile, it's incredibly hard to copy paste a phone number. Why not give them a call button, right? They click the phone icon and it opens up the phone dialer with the number pre-fed in it with the country code and everything in there. Right? Now, on the desktop, you're better off showing the map of your hotel. On the mobile, you're just better off integrating with the Google Maps, right, and just taking them there because and it will give them directions, etc. Right? So when you think mobile first and think differently on how somebody uses mobile, right? We see a lot of websites where the book now button is docked at the bottom of the website. I think it's a wrong call. Your call to action bright in the middle of the site is extremely important. Like if you look at a lot of the apps on Android and iPhone, right, there's this floating call to action button, right, where after you scroll, the icon shows up, right? We find these things make a huge difference, right? So mobile, again, it's a meta point mobile, right, but there's a lot in there. Don't think of your mobile and don't expect your customers to use your mobile phone site like they use their desktop because it's a fundamentally different. And I just don't mean responsive, right? It is rethink the experience there. Right? The last piece, which again is a big rock, and then there are a lot of small things that probably we won't have the time to cover today, is make sure that the guest experience between the booking engine and the website is seamless, right? I say this to my team, right? I mean, to me, I'm just amazed that websites and booking engine are two different things. They're not. When you talk to your guests and you ask them where did you book, they will not say they booked on your booking engine. They'll say they booked on your website, right? When you go to an Amazon.com or when you go to a booking.com, you don't know where the website ends and where the booking engine starts, right? When you go to a hotel website, there's like a Chinese wall between the website and the booking engine, right? There's a website here. It looks completely different than the booking engine. Sometimes the URLs will also be different. And this is a short way to lose customers, right? Suddenly you feel like you've gone to a third party where, you sort of lose the customer, right? Now, there are a lot of things here, right? Like the look and feel should carry forward. The context should carry forward. Like if I know, remember, customers are coming and searching again and again on your website. And the same person is going to come back and look again, right? The second time the customer comes, can you default to what they searched the first time? Will make a big difference in their customer journey. Will reduce like 4 or 5 clicks on your website and booking engine, right? That's what I mean. That the whole integration between the website and booking engine in our mind is critical if you want to drive more bookings to your website, right? So I think the three largest ones and there are a lot. Like you can do a lot on the payment space. Pay at Hotel works a lot better. We are seeing meal plans work a lot better. Now, think about the whole drivability, right? The whole messaging on how you lay out the content of, 3 hours from New York City, easy drive, all of those things, RT-PCR test, right? 24-hour check-in, check-out, free cancellation, all of that stuff matters. There's a laundry list of that. But if I were to pick the top three, one is load time. Please don't compromise on that. If you get a website that loads fast and nothing else, I think you have a big win. Number two, think mobile first. Don't think your desktop sort of readjusting to mobile and you've got it. Your guests observe your behavior. You use your mobile phone very differently than the way you use your desktop, and your guests do that too. Number three, break down the Chinese wall between your website and the booking engine. Ensure that it's one seamless experience. And then, if you want more, rather we can connect offline, and we can even do an audit for you. If you go to simprotel.com and put in your request, we'd be happy to. We do these audits, but these are the three big ones, and then there are like probably 500 small items that you need to check off.
Thank you, Tarun. I think that was really very useful, and I love the way you've put it. The way you use the word Chinese wall in between the website and the booking.
Yes, and it's a death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? I mean, I heard Jack Welch speak some, and this thing stayed with me for the longest time. Right? One of the conferences he was talking and said, do you know how do you kill your competition, right? And there's a lot of these MBAs like me out there. They said that hey, it's about a strategy. He said, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. You got to get a lot of things right. You got to get your customer experience right. You got to get your pricing right. And that's what it is in your website and booking engine, right? It's the devil is in the details here, right? Unfortunately, I think the biggest challenge is that if we were sitting here today designing a website, all of us would have an opinion, right? Today, if we were designing a rocket ship, all of us would be quiet, right? That's the challenge with websites, right? They get judged based on the look and feel, and all of us believe that we are experts in that, but we miss out on the big things of the customer journey. Right. Yesterday, I met one of our customers, and they're like, we have this awesome offer for the holidays, and I want to put a pop-up on your website, right? And I was like, how many times have you gone to a website where you love the pop-up over there, right? And there's silence in the room, right? Now, why do we do these things to our customers? We are all consumers. We can understand, right? But somehow, our business imperatives take over what the customers really want, right? So, anyways, I'll get off my rant box. It's actually simpler than we like. Just put on your consumer shoes and look at your website. See if it's simple to make a booking there. If you're struggling with it, your customers are going to struggle 10 times more with it.
No, very true, very true. I mean, that's a very valid point. And I think most of the things are as simple as that. It's just that we need to be in their shoes and try and see how it is working. We'll get the answers we're looking for.
And simple is hard, Neha, right? I mean, there's this Mark Twain quote, right? That says simplicity on the other side of complexity, right? So you got to get through a lot of stuff to simplify things. It's not that simple, and that's why it's hard.
Yeah, true. Okay, what is Radha saying here? She's saying, thank you, Tarun, very well explained. I do not know if you have access to the chat. It is to everyone. I do not know if you guys can see it.
I can read it. Thank you,
She's
Radha.
saying you should open a school and give a small course.
It's interesting, Radha. When I started Simprotel, I had two different business ideas. One of them was actually in the education field. So it's pretty close to my heart, right? I think someday, I don't think I'm ready for that yet, but I think after I'm done with Simprotel and stuff, my next venture will be in education. But thank you I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm sure it is a compliment. So yes, because if you can explain complex things easily, I think that in itself is something that is worthwhile. So yeah, I think on that note, we are on the close of the hour. We are beyond time actually. So really, I'm like, firstly, apologies to the panelists as well as to the audience for keeping you so long here. I would now just quickly try and wrap up. So any last parting words from all of you? So starting with you, Tarun.
I just want to thank you guys. I know you guys have a full-time business to run. I really appreciate you guys taking time. And I hope you found this interesting. If there's anything we can do to help, we're very passionate about growing direct. That's the only thing we do for a living. If there's anything we can do to help you, reach out to us. You can go to www.simprotel.com and reach out to us, and we're happy to do a consultation for you free of cost, right? I mean, and you don't even have to buy our product. But oftentimes we find that there are like about 4 or 5 big things that we can fix on your site that helps you. And if you're able to do that, we'll be happy. No obligation, right? So these are challenging times. I think when I look at the rear view mirror, it looks really bad, like, all the bloodbath that has gone through. But when I look through the windscreen in front of me, the windshield, I think really good times are ahead for us in hospitality. So all the best to everyone here, and thank you so much for being with us here.
Thank you, Tarun. That was very generous and, offering people the free audit and everything. So really thank you. And I think that would mean a lot. And I'm sure it is very useful for the people who are taking it from you. So, and thank you for sharing your insights with us here today. It was really very, very, interesting. And I really enjoyed the conversations.
Me too. I liked it too. It's fun.
Thanks. Sham, over to you. Your parting note, please. Parting words.
Yeah, thanks, Neha. And thanks to everyone who joined in today's conversation in this session. And thanks, Tarun. You're always the best. We know you. And yes, to all of us, to all of you who have joined into this session, thank you so much. You all know Red Tiger. We are known for making things and life simple for you with our solutions. And you know what the best part is, the customer support. We are there 24/7. And again, as I say, that we all know time is money. We all know technology is the key word. We have to make things very, very simple for you. And that's in our mind every time. So yes, anytime if you need any help from our end, please reach out to me. And you can also go to our website, www.euromax.com. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank
Samir.
you,
It's always
Sham.
fun, and we really appreciate the partnership with Red Tiger. It means a
Yeah.
lot to us, and it means a lot to our customers as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Tarun. Even we feel the same. It's a mutual, feeling. Simplodel is one of our best partners. We know that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Shammo. And my co-host and my friend here, Aparna. Aparna, your parting note.
Thank you so much, Neha, for hosting me and inviting me to join the session. Thank you, Tarun and Soumya. This was really insightful. And the conversation gives me a lot of hope. The last 1.5 years has been difficult. And when we see the booking growing, all this revenge travel and everything, I just only feel hopeful and very positive. So on that note, I thank everyone who have joined here. It was really great to have you all here. Thank you so much. Have a good night
Thank
or
you.
the rest of the day.
Have a great
Lovely.
day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And again, thank you to all the audience members for having joined in today.
Yeah.
And we look forward to connecting again soon.
And
Thank
thanks
you.
to
Take care.
Neha and Aparna for hosting a wonderful session.
Yeah, thanks,
to you
Neha,
both.
Aparna.
A pleasure.
Thank you guys. It was a pleasure.
Goodbye.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Take care. Stay safe.
Okay.
Stay safe.